It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors, beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murman's missing again. Where's Murman?
He is working at the Calgary Stampede, doing triple, quadruple, quintuple shifts. He's getting 30 seconds of sleep, and he's still wearing his mankini / tight-fitting black leotard.
It's like a unitard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's like one piece, so he just slips into it.
I always kind of attribute it to, Mike Myers when he used to do that skit on Saturday Night Live when he was in that black.
Right.
That's what I imagine Murray looks like right now.
Nice.
Right?
Thanks for putting that picture in my head.
You're very welcome.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast or even like it a little bit, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we'll watch it if it played anywhere in a world, in a cinema. And that's it. That's all the rules. Although, maybe after today, we're going to get Bryce to change his mind. But who knows? Time will tell.
Time will tell. Time always tells.
It does tell.
That's what time does.
It does. It heals all wounds and it tells.
It does so much.
Yeah. It's the best.
Time's pretty good.
Yeah.
I always wish I had more of it.
Yeah, me too. And Morris Day, who can beat his voice?
True. Jungle Love. Oh.
Jungle Love.
Anyways. Yeah. Oh, I don't even.
Doesn't love our intros? That's what I want to know.
Yes. I don't even know if I'm hitting the right button, but let's try this one.
Let's try one. See what happens.
Nope, that's not it. It's close, so
yeah,
what's this?
It's close. It's not it. That's the one.
Ah, perfect.
All right. What would the amazing Murman predict? What would the amazing Murman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the Mondo? Will he tell us all what Bryce and Jim saw at the movies? Here he comes now. You better watch out, 'cause here he comes swimming to you. Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray, swim, swim, swim.
Swim.
Swim, swim, Murray, swim. That was terrible.
It was the worst.
I missed my cue to start. Then I tried to make up for it.
You know what? Murray's just not.
Murray deserves better.
Yeah, plus also, Murray keeps us on track. When it's just us two idiots, it's like we don't know how to operate the machines. We don't know what buttons to push.
I got to the button eventually.
Yeah, eventually. You
hit enough buttons.
You know what? There's a reason that Murray's on our podcast other than just for his beautiful unitard.
Is he going to wear that to the podcast next time?
I fucking hope so.
All
right. So the fabulous Merman has given us his predictions. So the two movies that Jim and Bryce saw in cinemas this week was Despicable Me 4 and Maxxine.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
the Merman predicted Despicable Me because he knows I love animated features. He gave me thinking it was going to be a Mondo.
What?
And that Bryce would give it a meh because it's an animated film. And Bryce also doesn't hate animated films.
No, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. And then he thought because you loved Pearl and I loved X, that together when Maxxine came out, we would both give it a double Mondo.
Oh.
Yeah. He's giving out Mondos like candy this week. He must be in so much joy because he has a new job. Yeah.
Very nice.
We may never see the Merman again. Just letting everybody know. You may just get snippets of the Merman and maybe pictures of his unitard in the future on our socials.
Nice.
All right, well, let's talk about DM4. That sounds cool.
Yeah, Despicable Me 4.
Oh, what a transition you did there too. You're almost like a DJ now or something.
Oh, I got all the moves.
A wooka wooka. A wooka wooka. Wooka wooka wooka.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing right now.
I'm spinning the record, DJ.
Yeah.
Spin
Anyways,
the record, DJ.
so Despicable Me 4. This one was this was a bit of a surprise.
What?
This was like
What?
this is one of the dirtiest films that I've ever seen. Like, I can't believe this was for kids. So basically what this was about.
What? Where are you going with this?
Well, did you not watch the same movie as me?
I think so.
Okay, so Despicable Me 4, it starts out and he ends up, I guess he's got this rivalry with, what's his name? Maxxine?
Trey Parker?
I think it's Will Ferrell that plays him.
Oh.
Anyways, he's got this, and this guy, he turns himself into a cockroach.
Yeah.
And he's kind of evil, but they catch him, right? And then he goes to maximum security prison, but he says to Gru, that's the main guy in Despicable Me, right?
The franchise, yeah.
Yeah. He says that, he's gonna get him, right?
Yeah.
So then Gru's like, yeah, whatever, you're going to jail. What do I care?
That's right, in his super accent.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then he gets out. So they got to put Gru into like witness protection.
Yeah.
Right. So
where's the dirty part?
It's coming.
Oh, okay.
So Gru goes to witness protection with his three kind of main minions.
Yes.
Okay. And then the rest of the minions go to whatever
Prison?
the organization is
Oh,
that
right,
Gru's
yeah.
a part of, right? That now I didn't even realize. I thought Gru was like a bad guy, but apparently he's a good guy.
He was a
now.
bad guy in the first one. He was despicable.
I kind of forgot. But
Yeah.
anyways, it doesn't matter. Here's where it really gets interesting. So first of all, the rest of the minions go and they decide that they're going to turn these minions into these weird...
Superheroes.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Because I thought they were turning them into sex toys.
No.
Because one of them was definitely... He goes into... They put these 5 into a machine.
Yes.
One of them... All of them come out.
Yes.
One of them is definitely just a regular old dildo.
Yeah, totally.
There's no question.
This is stretchy dildo.
Yeah.
though.
Stretchy dildo.
Yeah.
One of them is
like a butt plug.
unquestionably a butt plug.
No, totally.
There's no question of that.
Absolutely. What is the Benoit balls?
Well, yeah, one of them is like an oversized Benoit. Okay. One of them is definitely like one of those kind of clit vibrators.
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the other
What
one,
about the laser eye one?
that's the clit one.
Ah, yeah.
It's even shaped like one of those.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And then
But
one
that
of
would hurt a lot if you
and one of them was one of those butt plugs that you actually pump up.
Oh, yes, totally.
So
yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
What is happening right now?
So like I'm like, okay, that's weird.
So this was Mondo then.
So then that's one side of the story. Then you go to the Gru side of the story, and then all of a sudden, Gru is being like seduced by the next door neighbor's daughter.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
And it was like everything was so wrong. It's like she invites him by himself into her treehouse, and I'm like, this is so wrong. And is trying to seduce Gru.
She's grooming him.
I don't understand what's going on. Like, Gru should not be in this treehouse with this underage girl by himself, unsupervised.
Yes.
Like, this is kind of creepy at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? But she's totally into him.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no question that she wants herself some Gru.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
So I'm like, this is so weird. So you've got these two separate stories, and in their own way,
they're like a
they are
dichotomy.
way like I thought that this movie was for like kids, but this is one of the dirtiest movies I've seen since like Fritz the Cat.
Yeah, for animation. Yeah, or anything by Bakshi from the 70s or 80s. Sure.
Yeah. So I would say it's at least on par with that.
Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't think
understand.
5-year-olds that went to this saw what you saw, because unless they're looking in their mommy's and daddy's bedroom dresser drawers, they're not going to know those shapes.
Five-year-olds are pretty sharp these days.
I don't know.
I think I'm pretty sure they know.
You know, the kids in South Park.
I'm sure they're going, Mommy, why did the minion turn into a butt plug?
Yeah, like the one.
And then what does Mommy say to that?
Mommy says, "That's what they." Yeah, for sure.
Mommy says, "Yeah, for sure."
Or maybe she says, "You're too young to talk about butt plugs yet. Wait till you're at least of age."
Yeah, maybe.
And
but that's my point. So why did they put it in the movie?
You know what? So that adults had something to watch, I guess, because that's the only thing I can think of.
At any rate, I was a little confused at the sexual innuendo.
Yeah,
I was a little
understandable,
confused.
Especially because you didn't see the other prequels to this.
Yeah, and I was a little confused by the whole kind of Lolita thing they were doing with Gru.
Oh, there was also a honey badger.
And there was a honey badger. So I'm not even go there. But yeah, this was a dirty, dirty movie. But I still, even though there was stuff in it that kind of made me raise my eyebrow, and I guess maybe it was done for shock value. I don't know. But it wasn't good though. I laughed at the beginning when the goat pooped.
Yeah, that was good.
Which was also a little dirty.
Yeah, dirty, filthy little goat.
Yeah.
Unicorn goat.
They literally showed this goat like pooping on screen, like a whole bunch of little poop pellets.
Yeah, it was like a Dirty Sanchez or something.
But I must say that for some reason that made me laugh.
Yeah, why not? Of course.
And then
goats pooping.
And then I was just kind of in shock and awe the rest of the way with all the sexual stuff.
But there was awe, so is it still make it to a Mondo then?
Nah, it doesn't even make it to a Matt. I found this really, really boring, which is weird with all this stuff because I mean they tried to put some stuff in there that was gonna kind of shock me and kind of make me go, wow.
Pedophilia, grooming.
Yeah, all in there.
Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, there was so much dirty, but it just goes to show you, just because you stick stuff like that in doesn't make it entertaining. This was a
does not mean a Mondo.
Yeah, which honestly, before this movie, I thought it did.
Yeah,
I thought it did. But
it was a rule for me, so I get it.
It doesn't. This was actually a rage, and I'm sad to say it because
cartoons are usually pretty good
because there's usually something, you know.
Yeah.
You sit there, you watch them, and there's some stuff you're gonna laugh a few times. This I was pretty bored.
Yeah, even
this was not good.
Seeing the butt plug minion should have been funny. It just wasn't.
Did it make me smile? Yeah, but it didn't make me laugh.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I dig it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, and I mean that was a cool concept. Other than the fact I don't know what it was for. I don't think it was for kids, but.
Well, let me tell you what I thought of it.
But yeah, this was a rage.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So in preparation of seeing DM4, yeah, or maybe it's Minions 5. I always get those two mixed up. I think I might have said that 6 times the night we watched it.
DM4, and there's only been 1 Minion.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But there has been 5, so you could call it Minions 5.
Yeah.
I guess because
there you go.
Would there be a Despicable Me franchise without the Minions?
You know what? I'm confused. Let's talk more, and maybe I'll change my opinion.
By the way, before you continue,
yeah,
I am looking forward to the next one because I think they might just get dirtier. And at that point,
it's going to be the Ty West version.
Maybe I'm going to go, Anyways, go ahead.
All right. So, yeah, I decided to watch all the prequels to this.
Holy crap.
All of them. Because that's me. I'm dedicated to this podcast.
That's like 6 hours of viewing, Jim.
Yeah. So, the franchise has a model that it follows, and this film is no exception. Gru bonds with his family. A silly arch nemesis is brought into the show. The family and minions get involved. This gets silly with action film ripoffs / homages. The bad guys get caught, and Gru becomes friends with them, and then everybody lives happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the kids stay the same age they were when they first met him, even after he got married, had sex, and then they had a baby, which is about a year old in this, and yet the kids are all the same age.
Huh.
So for the most part, there is no rationale for why stuff happens.
It's like The Simpsons in that regard.
I know, but The Simpsons doesn't really change anything, and they don't really change anything. It could just be a day in the life of. But this is like they had a baby, so the baby is older. Like Maggie's still Maggie. Like they didn't add another baby, and that baby got older.
Fair enough.
Right? So, Yeah. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So for the most part, there's no rationale for why stuff happens, and always things are not really made with common sense and follow the same rules that cartoons and superhero films follow, because they are made for children. And if children like it, they bring their parents, and then everybody wins.
Yeah.
Well, here's a hint. Not everybody wins.
Oh.
The problem is this story is now 4+ a Minions film old, and the story is old. The jokes are the same, and they appear to be getting progressively less funny and less interesting. I found a couple of scenes funny, as you've mentioned. The poop scene is one.
Yep.
For the most part, I was bored. Like this was actually really boring. And of course, adding a baby, kind of like Invincibles, made it even less original.
Yeah.
But did I mention that the kids are all the same age?
Yeah, you did.
Even after a baby is a year old? So they still had to have sex, it had to gestate, and then the baby's a year old, and the kids are still the same age.
Yeah.
All right, so they make Minions superheroes, or sex toys, depending on how you viewed it, which just seems kind of par for the course in these type of movies. If I was a child that had never seen a DM film before, I might have liked this just a little bit, but then I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally watched all 4 of the other ones before this.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is by far the worst, and it's boring, and it was a rage. I hated it.
There we go.
The whole movie, I was like sighing all the way through it. It's a good thing Murray wasn't there with us. It would have been he would have said, "Oh yeah, he's definitely not giving this a rage." Yeah, this was not good.
No.
In contrast to that, 3 was actually pretty good.
Was it?
In fact, 3 might have been the best one, because
I honestly don't remember it. I've watched them all, and I don't remember any of them.
It had Trey Parker in it.
Was he the villain in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, wait, let me just double check.
Yeah, if it's Trey, that was the one with the...
And Kristen Wiig's in it. Yeah, Trey Parker's in it. And his character was funny, and that's where they introduced the goat in the first place, that the kid thought was a unicorn.
Right.
It was fun. I didn't mind 3. But 4 is like poopy.
Yeah.
It's the poop.
No more.
Yeah.
4 no more.
4 no more. Please stop making these fucking Minion movies.
Yeah.
This is what you get when we're expected to watch kids movies.
Yeah. If you want us to keep on making these, just put them direct to frickin' Disney Plus.
Yeah, and then we don't have to watch them.
We don't have to watch them. I guess it wouldn't be on Disney Plus because it's DreamWorks.
No,
right?
I think it. Don't they own that?
Illumination. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of where I streamed it.
Probably Disney frickin' owns everything,
Yeah,
but no, I don't think so.
All right, well, let's transition from kids movies to non-kids movies. Maxxine, XXXINE.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ty West,
Ma, XXX,
and the Pearl / Maxxine trilogy.
Yes.
Ty West has this ability in this trilogy to capture the era
Nails
and
the eras.
influences that have put breath into each of these films. In this one, it is tying this to the Night Stalker serial killer from, I think it's Los Angeles.
It is.
It had that gritty 80s cop thriller nailed. To me, it kind of felt a bit like Cruising from Friedkin.
Yep.
And you know how much I love Friedkin when he's good. When Friedkin's on, he's fucking on. Of course, when he's not on, he's not Friedkin, I guess. I don't know. Starring, of course, the once, or I want to say almost great Al Pacino. And probably the best Al Pacino's ever been. Because you know what? If you're going to a great gay bar and you get to see fisting in a movie, that's real drama.
That is some drama.
Yeah, you've seen the uncut version of Cruising, right? Yeah, it's like the best scene in the whole movie. And I think that was you that I saw in the movie. I'm pretty sure that was you were in that scene.
No, that wasn't me. It just looked like me.
Okay. Thought it was. Okay, so
I was pretty young at that time.
Yeah, but so
I was a curious little guy though.
Yeah, you did like things in your butt. So this had such a great feel for the first half of the film, with a good pace as we catch up with our final girl, Maxxine, from her escapades, or should I call them sexcapades, with Pearl and Howard from X. But personally, what I loved about X was the homage to the 70s slasher, but with the twists, in my opinion, that he put into X, in my opinion, were sheer brilliance. Like adding in the creepy old people and having them be the killers was such a spin. But this one, like Pearl for me, I could see it coming almost from frame one. And by the time we got to the end, it's old and tired already. And to be honest, and you heard me, I was laughing a couple times at the transparency of the film. There was a scene, the scene that made me lose my absolute shit, which I don't think was supposed to be funny, was when the woman cop, they're at the thing, okay, you stay here, I'm going to run up and I'm going to take care of business. And then she comes rolling down the stairs and she's like, ah! And she falls off the cliff and I'm just like, what? And it has that canned scream effect when someone falls from the 1920s.
That was weird.
That was just like I just couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. And I know sometimes predictable can feel great. And I say this in the hands of a great director, right? Predictable can still
not
be
always bad.
Absolutely brilliant. Did you hear what I said though? Yes. A great director.
Which you're not saying that Ty West
No.
is. Gotcha.
I love the music in this film. I love the style that Ty creates. As far as style,
he's got
maybe he needs to be in cinematography. And maybe not direction. But he also has some good writing chops. But the final act of this just falls apart. As usual, Mia Goth is mesmerizing. Kevin Bacon is the best Kevin Bacon has ever been in any movie he's ever been in.
Wow.
The gore is great. Can you please get that right?
Wow.
There you go. The gore is great, including the head explosion, the ball stomp, the neck slices. But this is the third and also the worst of the trilogy. But it still ekes out a meh because it was still fun. I liked it. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was fun. I liked it for the most part. I think Ty West needs to have maybe collaboration better because this really fell apart in the third act.
But he's shown that he can do it too with X. So, and in my opinion, Pearl as well.
Yeah, you liked Pearl better than X.
But they were both very, very good.
Yeah.
This one, not quite as good. This one was a little more ambitious too, though. There was, more sets, more characters, more. But everything.
Also, it felt like it went on.
It was a bigger movie. So yeah, there was a lot more going on in this movie than any movie he's made before. The other ones kind of were, contained within a spot, and it wasn't as sprawling as this movie. And once this one got sprawling, that's when it kind of fell apart a little. Now that doesn't mean that he can't get better, and he won't be better. But at the same time, as you mentioned, he nails eras. You feel like you're there.
Yep.
It's such a gritty film in parts that I actually still loved parts of this film.
Yes, of course.
But
I did
some
too.
of its parts didn't make it because and as you say, you get to the climax and it almost got slapped together. Some of it didn't make sense. I don't want to spoil anything, but there should have been some sort of consequence to what she did, and there doesn't seem to be, and it's just weird. Like, it's really it's like the ending just wasn't well thought out. A lot of this movie was, but the ending really falls apart.
Yeah. And
as I say, and throughout there's just bits and pieces where you're like, are you just in love with like everything you're shooting? Did you have to put everything in?
Yeah.
Because I think it does go on a little bit too long.
It gets a little draggy.
It's a little draggy.
Yeah, I agree. And then the ending, it kind of comes out of nowhere. It's almost like it's a different writer.
Yeah, and it's weird. And I'm sorry that whole thing where, this isn't really a spoiler, but towards the end, they've got all these guys. They're almost like druids. They're in their robes and everything. And then all of a sudden the cops show up, which is fine because they're trying to break this whole ring up and the whole deal. And everybody that's in this freaking cult or whatever you got seems to have a sawed-off shotgun underneath the robe, and they all like pull out shotguns, and it's just so weird.
Yeah, like for what reason did
why is everybody armed to the teeth? Like that's
and how are those?
I can understand that if there's like two or three people that are like on the lookout or whatever, but not everybody.
Yeah, and where were those sawed-off shotguns?
I don't know.
Sitting. They have strapped to their legs.
Strapped to their legs. I don't know.
Yeah, but they weren't walking around like they had a shotgun strapped to their leg. Like it was.
And that's the thing. There was these little things where he has such attention to detail for some stuff, and then other stuff it's like, whatever. And that's how I felt this ending was. This ending was, well, whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of like, we kind of know it's coming.
Yeah.
Like, but that's it, right from frame one, though. Yeah. You knew what was going to happen. And they had that even from X,
which is fine.
You knew that
but
had to come
you got to
up.
execute it good.
Yeah.
And the execution's just not there this time. I didn't hate it either. I mean, there were parts where I really did have a good time. Mia Goth is great.
She's mesmerizing.
She's so good in this again.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be so much better because honestly, the first two I enjoyed them both more than I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Did I give them both Mondo? Or
no, you gave Mondo for Pearl and you gave X a Mad. But okay. I kind of want you to go back and watch X again. Because maybe it was your attitude at the time. Because I rewatched both of them before coming to this. Yeah. And I kind of liked Pearl a little bit better than I did the first time. Because for me, it was reverse. I gave X a Mondo and I gave Pearl a Mad. And it would still be that way for me. Just because, again, for me, it's about the transparency that Pearl had. It was so transparent all the way through it. There's great scenes in it. There's great, like the whole scene with Mia Goth and the girlfriend scene near the end is fantastic. There's scenes in it that are really, really good, but it was so transparent to me what everything was going to happen, and there was nothing that surprised me. So if you're going to make a film that's, era homage centered, and then do something like you did to X. X surprised me like nobody's business. I went, holy fuck, this is what I've been waiting for. And to me, until we saw, what's it called? The stabber guy slasher film we just saw recently, which is now my favorite slasher film. Violent Nature. Thank you. The Violent Nature is my first favorite slasher film, and to me, X would be my second favorite slasher movie of all time, just because I thought it was so well done. And they have a crocodile that eats people. So
we can agree that this was probably meh. It was meh, and it was the worst of the three, but it's still meh. It's still good stuff. There's so much good stuff in it. Like I feel bad giving it a meh almost. But
well, you know what? If you want to laugh at somehow the stupidity and treat the third act like it's comedy.
There you go.
And then just laugh yourself to the end.
Fair enough.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right, my rage this week is all about Bryce.
What?
We saw Despicable Me 4 in cinemas, which is a child's movie. It's made for children. And
that's debatable.
Yeah. Apparently to you. Is that why you're trying to sell this?
It's such a dirty movie.
I don't think our podcast is made to watch children's movies. It's different if it's a movie that was made for our audience. It's like I just think we could have streamed hundreds of beavers together and watch that as opposed to watch this fucking Despicable Me 4. I don't think our podcast is made to watch children's movies because for the most part, it's going to be there's animation films that are art pieces, right? Like,
well, see, you're drawing a strange line on children's movies at one point. Like you were calling Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio a kids movie, which it absolutely is not.
It is totally a kids movie.
Oh, for crying out loud!
But I'm sure glad I got to see it.
And that's why, you know what? No, screw it. We're watching kids movies because you're
okay.
just being silly.
So if Mary Kate and Ashley go back in time, or there's some kind of child version of twins that become actors, and we have to sit and fucking watch those movies.
Yeah,
that is again something that isn't made for us to watch. We're not the intended audience for it. The whole idea of us is to review films that we're intended as the audience, because then we're giving a real accurate portrait of what this film is. But when we're watching a movie that's made for children and the parents of children to take them to and pay that extra money, that's a different audience than us, who's going to see a film to be, completely unfiltered for the audience that hopefully listens to us. So I'm anxious to see what our audience says about it. So if anybody wants to message me on socials, say, yeah, Jim, your rage is bang on. Because I just don't think it's fair.
You know what? I'm okay with leaving it up to the audience. If you can get, and I don't even know how many, but it's
even one.
Even one.
Because for all we know, there's only one person that listens to us.
Are you still listening?
Yeah. David, are you still listening?
David, are you still listening?
Do you still love our podcast?
Are you sure?
Yeah, especially after.
I would have turned us off about 10 minutes ago.
Without Murman, it's like, why is anybody listening to us?
Exactly.
You can picture, everybody just close your eyes right now and imagine the Mur, and everybody's seen him from socials. Just imagine Mur in his skin-tight black unitard.
Okay, so I the social medias and stuff, I don't understand any of that. So you need to show me proof. And I want to see, and I don't want it filtered.
No, I don't know.
If 4 or 5 people chime in,
yes,
I want to see all 5.
All right.
If 4,000 people chime in, I want to see all 4,000.
Okay, sure.
And put it out there.
Yeah, that's out in the universe.
Should we or should we not be reviewing basically everything, including kiddie movies?
All right, there we go.
All right, I'll go with whatever they say.
All right, perfect. I love it. You know what? This rage just turned into a mondo.
Whatever. All right. I just enjoying your tune, man. It's not bad. Did you write this?
No, I stole it.
Stole it? It's terrible. Shouldn't steal.
Well, it was public domain, so, it's not really stolen. It's the universe gave it freely of itself.
Sometimes the universe provides.
That's right.
Sometimes when you least expect.
Food for thought.
All right. So this is what happened. My rage is that because I didn't prepare for the podcast at all this week,
like usual,
I don't have a rage.
That's your rage is at yourself?
My rage is at myself.
So my rage is about you.
Yes.
And your rage is about you.
Yes, because I need to give more of myself to this podcast.
I've been saying that for 5 years.
I haven't been phoning it in for 5 years, Jim. I will say that I've probably been phoning it in for 5 months, though. And I need to do better. You deserve better.
Our listeners
definitely deserve better.
Murray definitely deserves better.
Murray deserves better.
That's right.
But I'm just kind of doing what Murray does.
No. Murray's got a job, and you've got a job.
Yeah.
Unless we want to change your titles. You used to be a co-host, but now you're You're like Ed McMahon.
Oh, yeah,
you're like,
you got a point.
You're like I'm the Johnny Carson. You're the Ed McMahon. I'm the Lucille Ball. You're like Ethel.
No, but
you're totally Ethel.
That's not how it's supposed to be.
I know, but that's my point exactly. If you want to be Desi, you want to be my Desi, you got to step up. Otherwise, you're just.
There's no
I'm gonna start
freaking way
calling you
you're
Ethel.
Lucy.
I'm Lucy and you're Ethel. That's exactly what it is.
You're not Lucy.
You know what? I'm now going to start calling you Ethel until you pull your socks up. Ethel?
That's fair. I'm Ethel.
There you go.
I'm okay
Problem
with that.
solved.
I don't want it.
You can still
I can
quit.
change it,
You can
though.
start dialing it in. When you start not dialing it in, you're going to be my Desi.
Like, I literally don't even have a piece of paper in front of me today.
Yeah.
I don't even have the agenda in front of me.
If you didn't have
I'm
a laptop
sitting here
in front of
hitting
you,
buttons blind. I don't know what's coming up next.
if you didn't have a laptop in front of you, you would have nothing.
I didn't even want to bring the laptop. You're like, at least put up the laptop so you know what you're talking about. Who is in these frickin' movies? I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I should do that.
There you go. You know what? It's fitting. Double Bryce rage. There you go.
Rage!
Yeah. All right.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right. We've got a promo from our buds at Promo for Mystery Frequency Podcast.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Turn your dial to find the frequency of the past.
Captain Advice.
Where the classic stories of mysteries, sci-fi, thrillers, and suspense are found waiting to be heard once again.
Another case for Nick Carter, Master Detective.
You'll find a variety of those stories here, in their original form, where each episode takes you to another place or time.
The Man of Bronze, Doc Savage.
But only when you find the mystery frequency. Available everywhere.
The shadow knows.
You guys got to check that out. It's
Sorry, finish. It's what?
It's cool.
Oh. Sorry, it's cool?
Yeah, it's cool, but that's not what we're remember we're doing the lists. That's better.
I'm just hitting buttons.
Just dialing it in. Just dialing it in. All right, so this partially isn't Bryce's
I
fault.
was just testing you to see
Yeah.
if you actually recognize the music.
Oh, I recognize the music. So I'm going like, wait, we can't bring Casey on until you get it right.
Yes.
I was wondering if you were going to hear the music. But anyway, it's partially not Bryce's fault. So this is a segment we haven't done on as regular a basis of late because it hasn't had an opportunity, and I'll tell you a little bit why in a minute. So if you go to our website, filmrageyyc.com, and look at our page called The Lists, we have 5 lists. We have the mesmerizing, we have the repulsive, we have the doubted, and we have the undoubted. And our final category is people that were once either mesmerizing or repulsive, and they've been removed because they were mesmerized or repulsived off by someone that's either more mesmerizing or more repulsive. Which we haven't removed anybody from the repulsive list yet, but I have a feeling that we will someday.
Someday.
Yeah, I'm a positive it. So we've worked that list for the last 5 years. We built it up over the last 5 years, and then we've been able to bring it down to a manageable list. Ultimately, if actors lived forever and they all eventually worked together, there would be only one, just like the original Highliner? Captain Highliner? Which is that, Highlander or Highliner?
Yeah. What we need to
There
do.
could be only one.
Yeah, I got your analogy and it's just not working for me.
And you don't
But-
like fish sticks either, so it couldn't have been Highliner.
No, that's Captain Highliner. Anyways, What we need to do is we need to send our list to like a casting agent.
Yes.
And then get them to like just put
CGI them all in?
No. Well, the people that are dead, but the people are still living. Let's get like 4 or 5 of them in like the same movie all the time.
It's
then we
better
can
if there's
bang,
just
bang, bang.
2 because then it can be tough.
Yeah, okay.
Because then there's more choices that we could say, oh no, I think this person was more mesmerized. Because we've had ones, remember, it was the P.T. Anderson film that had like 5 of them in it, and we didn't remove anybody.
No.
Because there was like, I said somebody, you said somebody, Murray said somebody else. So it was like almost impossible to remove people. So they got to just be in 2. That's it.
Okay.
So we'll talk to the casting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give them a call this afternoon.
Do you have that type of poll?
Yeah, man, I got everybody's number.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'm doing it. All right. So for this week, the reason we're talking about the list, other than just to remind everybody that we're still working hard for this money that we get, which is none, unless you dare us to see a film. But so I just so happened to have watched the movie. They call me Mr. Tibbs. And it made me think, why is Sidney Poitier not on our Mesmerized list?
I'm gonna go with
Because we're dumb?
because we're dumb.
Unless we talked about it years ago and for whatever reason, something. I can't imagine anyone.
There's
like
no
he's
way.
just so mesmerizing.
Yeah, no, Sidney Poitier is absolutely mesmerizing.
All right.
That's
okay.
a no-brainer.
So when I get home tomorrow, on my birthday, everybody, just
Tomorrow's
so you
your
know,
birthday?
Tomorrow's my birthday. And I will be updating our website as part of my gift to myself and all of you.
Wow.
Much better. And so I'm going to add Sidney Poitier on the list. But here's the rub.
Ooh.
Sidney Poitier also happens to be in the same movie as Katharine Hepburn, who I thought could never be taken out by anybody. In the movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? And they are both in it.
Not the remake Guess Who with Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac.
No, neither one of them are in that, thank God. And thank God we don't.
Why did they do
don't
that?
Don't say anything. Someone's going to dare us to watch that. Actually, it's probably going to be Casey.
I do have a bag that I still haven't filled, actually.
Well, maybe our listeners will bring it to us sooner. So I'm suggesting we watch Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and see who's going to make it, Sidney or Katharine.
Done.
All right. Well, that was a really easy plan.
Yeah.
It was just like butter.
Sometimes, if it's a good plan and it just kind of
can be executed well. It's happening.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything else? Was nobody? You know what? If we used to have Kevin Bacon as Repulsive, I'm just saying, because he's not always the best actor. His portrayal in Maxxine was fantastic.
Yeah, but he'd never be repulsive or doubted or.
I know. I'm just or mesmerizing for that fact. But in this movie, he was almost as good as Mia Goth.
He was better in this than he was in Tremors.
And that's saying something
because that was pretty much
that's the second best movie he's ever been in.
It's like. It's now Maxxine, Tremors, and then Murder in the First.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember.
And then everything else is crap.
Will and Grace, probably.
I didn't even know he was in Will and Grace.
I think he played TV for some reason.
Was he Will or Grace?
No, he was neither one of them. He was somebody else. I don't know. I'm just saying.
What's a Will or Grace?
It's a TV show. I'm just saying. I think I saw him once on there, maybe.
Oh.
It doesn't have nothing to do with movies, but you and Murray talk about football sometimes. I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
I hear it's called a pigskin. Is that because it's made of pig?
I don't think it's made of pig anymore. I don't even know.
You know what? Who knows?
Who cares?
It's football. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the list.
That fell apart quick.
Yeah, it was really quick.
All right, list.
And rightly so.
Yes. All right. I got to push another button here. Just give me a second.
Press a couple of buttons.
I'll get there.
One button.
Nope,
that's not it. Nope. No, that's not it. Nope. Nope, that's not it.
Oh.
That's it.
Last time on Rage or Dare, Our little Brycey forgot he told Jim his Pee-wee story about the movie Cocktail years ago. And Jim, as usual, used Bryce's poor memory and hearing loss against him like the true friend that he is when he dared Bryce to rewatch the Tom Cruise masterpiece. Well, maybe masterpiece is too strong of a word. How about film? No, that also seems like too strong of a word. Thing on celluloid. The 1988 piece of celluloid, Cocktail. This week, Jim will most likely only have one choice, and that's to Casey. Why, you ask? Because, as usual, Bryce is still just phoning it in and has nothing for Jim to choose from. Isn't that right, Bryce?
Yes.
You little slacker. Don't you fret, though, Jim. My sweet, sweet rage bosom is ready to embrace you. Don't worry, darling. There. Now let's see if Big Top Pee-wee's past replacement celluloid feels as long as Pee-wee's kiss in Big Top Pee-wee. Tell us, Bryce, our Tom Cruise, who is so short that it kept me from being in the film Vanilla Sky, and his bartending skills as exciting as being under the big top? Come on, Bryce.
Yeah, so Cocktail.
Yes.
I literally had to watch this in three sessions because I fell asleep twice.
Yes, you did.
And it's not only boring, it's just, this is a movie about just the most unlikable people walking the face of the earth, and not in an entertaining way.
So it's kind of like Maverick or Top Gun?
Yeah,
The
kind of.
most repulsive
It's
people?
like, what is with Tom Cruise and playing just these, like he's just a whiny little bitch in this too. And he's sitting there and he's trying to pick up this rich girl that he doesn't know is a rich girl, but then he finds out she's a rich girl. And
she's gone too far.
And then, of course, the money doesn't matter. And she's a grown-up, but she still lives with her daddy in an apartment, but she's also got her own apartment. And it's just very confusing. And even though he, I guess, loves this girl, he goes off and he becomes this other rich girl's like plaything, but she's an older rich girl, kind of his sugar mama. And I didn't understand what was going on. And then not even Brian Brown could save this.
No.
And I love Brian Brown.
Who doesn't love Brian Brown?
He's always entertaining.
He is. BB.
But and there's like a weird suicide in it that makes no sense. And no character is like likable at all. Like at all.
So it's like Top Gun and Maverick.
It's kind of like Top Gun and
They're
Maverick.
all repulsive.
But in the Bahamas for part of it, in New York for part of it.
What?
I think it goes from, I think it's Chicago to the Bahamas to New York, or maybe it's New York to the Bahamas.
Is it just because he's working?
Is he in Chicago?
He's
I don't
working.
even remember.
He's working at different bars. Is
So yeah,
that
so
why?
basically, he wants bigger things for himself, right?
So it goes
So
to
in
a
order
bigger
to
bar
do that, he goes to school
to be a bartender.
where he makes fun of his professor,
Okay.
which kind of screws him over, which I don't know why you would make fun of your professor. This is a guy that's giving you your grade, right?
Yeah.
So why are you trying to humiliate him
'Cause
in
he's
front
an
of the class?
idiot?
Oh, because he's an idiot.
That's
He's
what
an
it is.
unlikable little turd.
Turd. Yes. Whiny little bitch.
Little whiny little bitch. And so then, yeah, from there he decides, okay, well, if that's not going to work, the way to the top is obviously work at a bar.
So
So then,
find rich
then he
women.
learns the trade, and Brian Brown's got a bar, and he's really good at flipping bottles around.
Nice.
And picking up chicks while he's behind the bar. And it's like, what is going on? How is this getting you forward in life? But then he ends up, they decide, apparently, I don't know if this is a thing, but there's big money in the Bahamas. I think it's the Bahamas. I could be wrong.
It's somewhere in the Caribbean.
It's somewhere in the Caribbean. Apparently, there's big money for bartenders to just go and it's like getting a a gig at a club or something, I guess.
Oh.
You're a bartender.
Like
you can go get a gig.
Like you're a cruise line performer?
Yeah, but you're just at a bar on a beach.
Oh, okay.
And so then
Sounds logical.
apparently you can make big money there.
Huh.
And so he wants to do that so that he can pursue his dream
Of what?
to be big time. I don't know exactly what his dream is though, but he meets the rich girl. Well, he meets the rich girl that he falls in love with, and
What?
she's younger, not like young, but she's like
His
same
age?
age as his.
Oh.
But he doesn't know she's rich. But then on a bet, he picks up this other sophisticated rich girl.
Oh. To be
All right.
like a gigolo
Yeah.
of sorts.
So kind of. So then he wins the bet.
Oh,
Okay.
that old story.
Yeah. So then, but here's the thing.
There's a rub.
Come on, knock on our door.
Oh, it's a
the original girl sees him
What?
walking away with her.
It's a total Three's Company.
Yeah. And so then she doesn't actually see them like make out or anything though. She just infers from that they're screwing.
Oh, totally.
But she's right because they are.
No.
So then he's like so distraught after like having sex with this hot older lady.
Nice. Who wouldn't be?
I know, totally distraught.
Totally take her.
Yeah. So then he's like, "Oh God, I screwed up," and he goes to get the younger one.
And she
right?
said no.
No. Here's the thing.
What?
She's not even there anymore.
No, she's smart.
flown back to New York.
Nice.
So then, rather than try to contact her or try to apologize or try to explain
went,
things, he's like, you know what?
I'm better
I guess
off.
no. He's like, that ship has sailed. I guess I'm going back to the
And
old
then
rich
the movie
lady.
end, right?
No, so he goes back
What?
to the old
There's
rich.
more?
He goes back to the old rich lady.
Yeah.
They go to New York.
Yeah.
And then she becomes kind of his lapdog.
Oh,
And she
what?
just kind of does. He does what she wants, and he, if she needs a drink, she gives her a drink.
What?
If they go to a gala and she's got her coat on and she doesn't want to be, she takes her coat off and hands it to him, and he's got to go. So here's the thing that doesn't make sense though. He seems to be all in on this, but in the meantime, she does some sort of job where he thinks that he could like excel at something that she has to do with. So he kind of wants her to give him a job, but she's like, "Well, I can't just give you a job because that would look like nepotism."
Is it like cunnilingus he's good at?
I don't know what he's good at. So, anyways, in the end, he's like, "Well, screw this. I'm not even getting anything out of this, except for you're kind of
Money.
hot older lady that likes to
And
have
money.
sex with me."
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad gig.
No, that sounds like a pretty good gig.
But so
That's
then he's
my
like,
aspiration.
So then he's like, "Screw it." So then he goes. Then he sees the original girl
What?
at a diner.
No.
And even though she's like rich girl, she works at the diner.
What?
Because I guess she wants to be like regular people. I don't know. So then
that makes sense.
But she's an artist.
No.
She's also an artist.
No.
So he goes.
Does this have an ending? This is
Yes,
the worst.
I'm getting to
this
it.
is the worst story
So-
I've ever heard in my life.
So anyways, long story short.
Oh, it's not
here's
short. This is still a long story.
Here's the big kicker. Here's the big kicker.
This is almost as long as Pee Wee's Kiss.
He impregnated her in the Bahamas.
The older lady?
No, the younger lady.
What?
But she doesn't want to tell him
Oh
because
my
she
God.
thinks that he's so selfish. Anyways,
So this became not only Three's Company, it also became Dallas?
that's the thing. It's a total soap opera.
Oh, nice.
This whole movie is a soap opera, and it took me 3/4 of the way through to realize it. Before I thought it was just total crap, but it's like it's not even just total crap. It's soap opera crap, which
so
is so much worse.
It's you know
it's
what?
so much worse, Jim.
You saw when we saw Horizon what a real soap opera could look like, so I can understand you could identify.
It was so bad. So, anyways, I'm just gonna spoil everything for everybody. She gives him another chance, and they
What?
and then this
In
thing
a
gets
rom-com?
This thing
Wait,
gets
was
dragged out for over an hour and a half, and then the ending, she just goes, "Okay, I forgive you. I'm gonna leave all my family behind. Screw you, Daddy. I hate you now because I
What?
love Tom Cruise or Neil McGillicuddy or whatever his name. Brian Flanagan, that's his name. She loves Brian, and she's gonna go be with Brian, and they get They get married, and now all of a sudden he's got a bar, even though she got cut off, right? So she's got no money anymore, apparently.
So they magically
But
got a bar?
somehow he's got a bar, but he's got no money.
All the tips.
So I don't know, and it's called Cocktail and Dreams, and he makes a big toast at the end to her and their unborn child.
This sounds...
And it's the worst movie.
You know what? I blocked this movie out of my mind.
It's awful.
Because I remember walking out of the cinema, because I knew which
It's
movie theater I was in.
awful.
I saw Big Top Pee-wee, and then I still had to watch this. It was a double
so
feature.
bad.
And when I walked out, I blocked it out of my mind, and you've literally brought it all back to me.
And you know what the worst part of this is? Is that you never would have given this to me had I not thought that I was going to Big Top Pee-wee that day. And here's the thing. I may have never seen Cocktail ever had I not tried to go to Big Top Pee-wee, and by mistake I ended up in the wrong theater. I may not have seen this ever because you never would have dared it to me had you not heard the Big Top Pee-wee story. So here's the thing.
I can 100% guarantee you were getting this FYI.
No, I don't think so. I don't think this would have just because you're like I blocked it out of my memory. I don't think you ever.
No, I blocked the movie out of my memory.
Because of this, I didn't have to see it once. I had to see it twice. When if it wasn't for the whole Big Top Pee-wee fiasco, I may not have had to watch it at all.
So it's Big Top Pee-wee's fault. You're blaming Pee-wee?
I'm blaming Paul Rubens right now for making me watch this frickin' movie twice. This was a total rage. I hated it. Everything about it is garbage.
This is the greatest moment of my life. FYI, just so you know,
yes,
there's a lot more like that in my bag. So you got lots more to look forward to, sugar.
Nice.
All right. Well, seeing as how Casey's the only one that does anything around here, I'm going to pull from Casey's bag. And FYI, Casey gave me one other dare that I forgot to bring with me, but he's still got some good stuff in here.
Cool.
All right. So I will not be watching Cocktail ever again.
Yeah.
Because it's not
it's
a
off
thing.
the table.
Now it's off the table. Some sucker had to watch it.
Off the cocktail table.
But what I will be watching is RoboCop 2014.
Was it that bad?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember it either.
I don't think
because
it was
I don't
as
remember
good.
it. It wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, there's nothing as good as the first one.
Then the second one was kind of not good, and then the third one was garbage.
Yeah, it was poopy. But someone told me on socials today that they're going to be making a RoboCop versus Terminator movie because I guess it's a comic. Now that's a movie I want to see. If we can get Paul Verhoeven back to direct RoboCop versus Terminator.
I'm not sure. Wouldn't Terminator just destroy RoboCop?
RoboCop's got like stuff and machinery in his body and stuff. He's like a Terminator himself.
I guess.
Totally. Now you want to know what happens, right?
No, not really. I really don't want to see that movie, Jim.
Well, you know what? We're probably going to see it if it comes out.
Well, if it comes out, yeah, we're going to see it, but that seems terrible.
But I'm going to be watching RoboCop 2014.
All right, I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy totes. Oh, well, kids, it's been a blast, as it always is. Thank you, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the God of Rage, from the Nerdy Photographer. And if you haven't checked out the Nerdy Photographer's stuff, check it out everywhere. For the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. And usually one of them's got a sale. So again, if you need to buy me a birthday present, don't buy me my own merch. Go buy one from one of the great people that we support, like the Nerdy Photographer, and send it to me. We always want to make this a raging blast for our listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage.